Hello, my dear fourth graders. Mrs. Wilson here. Last time we spoke, we were working on listing some of our topics and subtopics in your writer's notebooks. And today we're going to move right along and we're going to go right into talking about how informational writers write all that they can about each of the subtopics for their writing so that they can determine if they have enough information to tell about each of the subtopics or if they needed to do a little bit more research. Okay? If you remember from last time, Mrs. Wilson had two topics. We had ballroom dancing and we had my favorite Bulgarian tradition of Grandmother March. I'm going to be choosing one of those topics, and I will choose to write about my favorite Bulgarian tradition, which is Grandmother March, in Bulgarian called Baba Marta. The reason I'm choosing that one is because it is actually happening right now, and like I said, it's one of my favorite Bulgarian traditions. So I am looking at the first subtopic that I had on there, and it said, what is it? So I'm going to write as much as I can about what the Bulgarian tradition of Baba Marta is. So then my chapter 1 will become, what is it? On March 1st, Bulgarians give Martinici to their family, friends, and neighbors. This may be in the form of a simple bracelet or entwined red and white wool or a brooch of red and white wool tassels. Front doors are decorated with enormous red and white pom-poms or with woolen dolls called Pijo and Penda. Pijo is the male doll and is usually crafted from white wool. Penda is the female red doll and is distinguished by her skirt. Animals are also adorned with their own special martinica. Young people in particular can be seen with a wristful of red and white bracelets. The designs and materials used have changed somewhat over the years, adapting to suit new tastes and modern materials. The message has stayed the same over the years, though. That is a message of spring is just around the corner and new life will spring up in no time. The wish is the same as well for strength, health, and good luck. My second topic on the list is chapter 2, what are the martinici and what do you do with them? The designs and materials used have changed somewhat, adapting to suit new tastes in modern materials. Martinici used to combine silver coins, beads, garlic, snail shells, and horsehair, but today they incorporate fancy beads and popular children's characters like Spider-Man or Barbie. Many school children still make their own martinici, but most people purchase them from street sellers, and the whole event has become far more commercial. Martinici are worn until Baba Marta shows the first sign that spring is truly here. This may be in the form of the first stork or the green buds on a fruit tree. Once spring has arrived itself, the martinica is hung from the bracelet from the branches of a budding tree, and people make a wish. This act is said to make the tree strong and healthy. Some people put their martinica under a stone with the idea that whatever the nearest creature to it the next day will determine the person's health for the rest of the year. If the creature is a larva or a worm, the forthcoming year will be healthy and successful. The same luck is associated with an ant. However, the person will have to work hard to achieve success if the ant is there. If the creature near the token is a spider, then the person is in trouble and will be lacking in luck, health, or personal success for the next year. In schools and nurseries, there are plays with old women acting out the parts of the months February to April, and children recite songs about Baba Marta. Okay, so you just heard and saw me do both of my topics, and as I wrote as much as I could about each of the topics. Now I want you to keep one thing in mind, and that is that your subtopics should generally have the same amount of information in them. So if you notice as you're writing them, as you're writing as much as you can about each of the topics, please remember that you might want to take a look at one of those topics if you don't have enough information, and you might need to do a little bit of research to compensate for the lack of knowledge in that little area, okay? For example, I don't know nearly as much about some of the legends that have come with the Bulgarian tradition of the Martinica itself. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of research on my first topic, which is what it is, and maybe include a couple of legends about where the whole tradition came from. All right, you guys, so now it is your turn. Take a look at your topics and subtopics and decide which topic you want to try first. Then write as much as you can about each of those topics. Remember again that if one of those topics is lacking a little bit of information, you're going to need to do a little bit of research, okay? Happy writing, fourth graders.